What if India's biggest opportunity in the next decade is not renewable energy alone, but cleaner use of coal? The government of India has operationalized a massive 37,500 crore rupees coal gasification incentive scheme by introducing a competitive bidding framework that could reshape India's coal, chemicals, fertilizer, and energy industries. But why is the government encouraging coal gasification when the world is talking about clean energy? Why is India spending thousands of crores on this sector? Which listed companies could potentially benefit? And what do the new rules mean for investors? In today's video, based on the Business Standard article dated the 27th of June 2026, we will explain the scheme in simple language, analyze its objectives, discuss how the incentive mechanism works, identify sectors and companies that may benefit, and examine both the opportunities and the risks. Stay till the end because this policy could influence one of India's most important long-term industrial themes. Why is the government launching this scheme? India imports significant quantities of LNG, methanol, ammonia, fertilizers, and other industrial feedstocks. At the same time, India has one of the world's largest coal reserves. Instead of using coal only for burning in power plants, the government wants to convert coal into synthetic gas, commonly known as syngas, through coal gasification. Syngas can then be used to manufacture methanol, ammonia, synthetic natural gas, SNG, hydrogen, fertilizers, petrochemicals, industrial chemicals. According to the policy, this will reduce dependence on imports, strengthen India's energy security, support domestic manufacturing, and create additional value from India's coal resources. Part 2. What is coal gasification? Coal gasification is not simply burning coal. Instead, coal is converted into a mixture of gases known as syngas through a controlled chemical process. This gas becomes an important industrial raw material rather than merely a fuel. The objective is to diversify the use of coal beyond electricity generation and create higher value industrial products. Part 3. Key features of the 37,500 crore rupee scheme. According to the Business Standard article, the scheme has several important features. Financial assistance. Eligible projects can receive financial assistance of up to 20% of the cost of eligible plant and machinery, subject to project wise and group wise limits. Competitive bidding. Companies seeking lower financial incentives will receive higher evaluation scores, encouraging efficient use of public funds. Milestone based incentive payments. Financial assistance will be released in phases based on project milestones and actual progress. Delay penalties. Projects delayed beyond the prescribed timelines may receive reduced incentives or may lose the remaining incentive benefits, except in cases of force majeure. New plant and machinery. Only new plant and machinery installed exclusively for the approved project will qualify for incentives. Responsibility of developers. Project developers will be responsible for securing product offtake, obtaining financial closure, and ensuring commercial viability. Part 4. Why has the government introduced a competitive bidding model? Earlier subsidy schemes mainly focused on providing financial assistance. The new framework aims to improve accountability and ensure that public money is used efficiently. The objectives include better accountability, faster project implementation, efficient utilization of government funds, time bound execution, reduced project delays, improved commercial discipline. The milestone based payment structure ensures that incentives are linked to actual project progress instead of mere project approval. Part 5. Which companies could potentially benefit? The scheme does not guarantee benefits to any specific listed company. However, companies operating in the following sectors could potentially benefit if they participate successfully. Coal producers, companies with long term coal reserves and mining operations. Power companies, companies exploring coal gasification and downstream energy projects. Fertilizer companies, manufacturers requiring ammonia and related feedstocks. Chemical companies, companies producing methanol and other downstream chemicals. engineering and EPC companies, businesses involved in designing and constructing coal gasification plants, industrial gas and infrastructure companies, companies supporting gas processing, storage, transportation, and associated infrastructure. Investors may monitor companies such as Coal India, NTPC, BHEL, Larsen and Toubro, and other engineering, fertilizer, and chemical companies for future announcements relating to participation in the scheme. Mention of these companies is only illustrative and should not be interpreted as confirmation that they will receive incentives. Part 6. Objectives of the scheme. The government aims to achieve several long term objectives through this policy: reduce dependence on imported fuels, increase value addition from domestic coal, promote manufacturing under Make in India, strengthen India's energy security, encourage indigenous technologies, generate employment, develop downstream chemical industries, improve India's industrial competitiveness. Part 7. Challenges and risks. Like every large industrial policy, this scheme also faces execution challenges. Some of the key risks include high capital expenditure, technology execution risks, environmental compliance, commercial viability, long implementation periods, availability of feedstock, market demand for downstream products. Investors should therefore evaluate each company's execution capability rather than relying solely on the policy announcement. Part 8. Investor Perspective. For investors, this scheme should be viewed as a long term structural policy rather than a short term trading opportunity. Important developments to monitor include project announcements, successful competitive bids, financial closure, construction progress, commissioning timelines. Production capacity, impact on future earnings. Final conclusion. The Business Standard article dated the 27th of June 2026 highlights an important shift in India's industrial policy. Instead of providing unconditional subsidies, the government has linked incentives to competitive bidding, milestone based execution, and commercial discipline. If implemented successfully, the scheme has the potential to support domestic manufacturing, reduce import dependence, strengthen energy security, and create opportunities across the coal, chemicals, fertilizer, engineering, and industrial infrastructure sectors. However, investors should remember that government policies create opportunities, but the long term success of individual companies depends on execution, technology, financial discipline, capital allocation, and market demand. If you found this analysis useful, subscribe to Suffer or Seek Knowledge for detailed coverage of government policies, company news, IPOs, business developments, regulatory updates, corporate governance, and investment education. Disclaimer: this analysis is based on the Business Standard article dated the 27th of June 2026, together with publicly available government information. It is intended solely for educational and informational purposes and should not be construed as investment, financial, legal, or tax advice. References to companies are illustrative only and do not constitute investment recommendations. Please conduct your own research and consult a qualified professional before making any investment decisions. Disclaimer: the content published on Suffer or Seek Knowledge is intended solely for educational, informational, and knowledge sharing purposes. The views, opinions, analysis, and discussions presented on this channel are based on publicly available information, official disclosures, applicable laws, regulations, financial statements, annual reports, stock exchange filings, and other reliable sources believed to be accurate at the time of publication. The information shared on this channel does not constitute legal, financial, investment, tax, accounting, or professional advice, nor should it be treated as a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any security, financial instrument, or investment product. Company analysis, business news, stock market discussions, IPO reviews, regulatory updates, and corporate governance topics represent the creator's educational interpretation of publicly available information. Viewers should independently verify facts and consult qualified legal, financial, tax, or investment professionals before making any business, legal, or investment decisions. Investments in securities and financial markets are subject to market risks. Past performance does not guarantee future results. The creator and suffer or seek knowledge shall not be responsible for any direct or indirect loss or damage arising from reliance on the information presented on this channel. This channel is independent and is not affiliated with, endorsed by, or representing any company, stock exchange, regulatory authority, government body, listed entity, financial entity, or professional organization, including but not limited to SEBI, MCA, RBI, BSE, NSE, or any other regulator. All trademarks, company names, logos, and brand names mentioned or displayed belong to their respective owners and are used only for identification, commentary, reporting, criticism, review, or educational purposes where applicable. By viewing this channel, you acknowledge and agree that the content is intended for educational purposes only and that you are solely responsible for your own decisions and actions.